Steel bottle, steel bottle. Boston Celtics, steel bottle, steel bottle. Oh yeah! Steel bottle, steel bottle. Boston Celtics, steel bottle, steel bottle. And a 19.
Beat Rob, Jim, Pekka, J. King.
Steel bottle, steel bottle.
The Caesar on the court to get another ring.
Steel bottle, steel bottle.
Everybody in the chat now sing.
Steel bottle, steel bottle. Steel bottle, steel bottle. Boston Celtics, steel bottle, steel bottle. Oh yeah! Shut your ass up,
Daddy's always halfway there.
What up, what up, what up? It's me, Jay King from The Athletic, here with Brian Robb from MassLive.com. I am watching Syracuse Houston. I'm not watching it anymore because we're about to podcast. And we're about to be podcasting about it's on TV.
You're gonna be peeking.
It's on TV. Once in a while, if B Rob starts to talk, I'll glimpse. You'll see me glimpsing over here, and then you'll know. But yeah, Celtics got back in the win column after an ugly loss to the Nets. And the story of the game was just how small they went. Nemi got hurt, and so they needed to do some of it. They did not need to sit Luka Garza. They could have played him. He's been the backup center all along. They could have played Xavier Tillman. Nope. They just played smalls. Chris Boucher was the biggest guy they played from that point forward. He is probably weighs less than I do. And they played Josh Minot at center. Jordan Walsh, cleaning the glass, believes it was the first time he'd ever played center. I'm not sure if that's true, but it might have been the first time he's ever played center in an NBA game, and he closed the game at center and was serving as the screener and roller and actually doing a nice job as a short roll man, finding Jaylen Brown a couple of times for threes. But yeah, how viable do you think this is? Is it something that they should do when Nemi gets back? Is it something that they should do in lieu of Garza? Is it something that they should just have as a curveball? Like what do you think is the extent of this? Do you think it's a big deal, or just they played an Orlando Magic team that had nobody and it worked against them but might not work against anybody else?
Yeah, I think probably closer to the latter, although this was something I feel like we were talking about at the beginning of the month, Jay, of like the Minot at center look and whether that could become a thing. And we saw far shorter stints of it then, but then I feel like at that point Garza went on a solid stretch of like 3 or 4 games and kind of quieted the masses or the buzz about him might not getting more time at center now. But when you look at defensive versatility and just like on-off stuff, I don't know. Like, I think at this point I'm intrigued by it, since it seems like there's only if Minot is capable of playing those minutes at center, because he's kind of getting squeezed. Either him or some other young wing is getting squeezed out of minutes elsewhere with how this lineup has panned out. So in my mind, I'm kind of like, I'd rather see more of Minot and the young wing. So I'm intrigued to see what that kind of look can do for them.
Yeah, it's so the reason why it might be a thing is not because you think Minot is going to be the next Kareem.
No.
Like, this is not a perfect option. If you do play Minot at center, if you do play Jordan Walsh at center, even if you go to Chris Boucher, you are going to have vulnerabilities. And some of those were pretty obvious against Orlando even. The Celtics, like, one of the things they've done really well is hit the offensive glass. Luka Garza is a great offensive rebounder. If you don't play him, then you miss that. They had 7 offensive rebounds against Orlando. There was their lowest offensive rebound rate of the year at 19.4, according to Cleaning the Glass. And that's like, they've needed that to survive. They've needed to create those extra chances. That's one vulnerability. Other vulnerability is defensive glass, which can be a problem in the best of times. And if you go that small, then it could absolutely be an issue. The Magic had 18 offensive rebounds, and again, their whole front court was out. This wasn't like the big physical imposing Magic. It was Noah Penda and Orlando Robinson and the gang, and Jace Richardson out there launching, Jet Howard doing his thing. This was not the Magic that people are used to. And so you could see the vulnerabilities, but I also thought like the reason for it is because the backup minutes at center have been awful. And I'm not talking about just Luka Garza as an individual player, because he's done some good things. He's offensive rebounded at a great rate. He's been productive offensively. He's been fine enough, but when Keita is off the floor, and it's not just because of Keita, it's been a disaster. The Celtics have been -6 points per 100 possessions with Garza out there. I think it's Xavier Tillman has barely played, so the sample size probably isn't big enough to even mention. I'll mention it anyway. He's like -10 net rating with him on the court. And they just haven't found a way to play when they don't have Keita out there. And some of his on-off numbers are due to just he plays most of his minutes with Jalen, Derek White, and Peyton Pritchard, which will help the on-off numbers no matter what. But Luka Garza, like, regardless, I keep saying irregardless. That's like the second or third time I've said irregardless on the podcast. I got to stop doing that. I have to. Regardless of who he's played with, the minutes just haven't gone well. And he fouls all the time. He hasn't been at all a rim protector. And you miss things when he's out there. And I think you saw like the athleticism and the mobility of Minot and Walsh. Like, it opened things up for the Celtics when they went small in that game.
Yeah. And so I guess I'll throw this question back to you. If Goga plays that game for Orlando, he was a late scratch. Like, was this always the plan, or to go small, or do you think this was okay? Orlando legitimately is not playing any real centers outside of a two-way guy in Orlando Robinson. So like, let's roll this out tonight to see what it looks like. Or was this like, we need to start trying this anyway?
So they've gone super small against Orlando before, and it was a very different situation. But remember when they started Lamar Stevens at center against Orlando?
Yeah.
Like, totally random pull. But so this is not the first time Joe Mazzulla has decided to go toward his speed lineups against Orlando. And so it might have been just a matchup thing. But when Nemi goes out, you think, okay, they have to play Keita. They have to play Tillman. And instead, they were like, nope. Chris Boucher, boys. Josh Minot, boys. And then Joe got pissed at Josh Minot and just closed the game with Jordan Walsh at center. And again, not sure he'd ever played center before in his NBA life. So, yeah, I'm not sure whether it was the plan or just plans changed once Nemi went down, or maybe they were going to sit Garza anyway, and then it just got more radical to sit him and go to other, like maybe they were just going to play Boucher and not play Garza, and then all of a sudden Nemi's out and you have to fill those minutes, and they're like, we decided we weren't going to play Garza tonight. Let's just throw the wings out there. The one thing I like about it is I do think the wings all deserve to play. Like, Jordan Walsh deserves to play. Josh Minot deserves to play. Ugo deserves to play. Baylor Shireman deserves probably a couple minutes here and there. And playing bigger, like, one of those guys has to sit. At least one of those guys has to sit. Yeah. And so if you play super small, then you might find a chance to play all those guys. And I actually think they're pretty important to the team's identity now. And getting those guys reps now will be beneficial in the future. So I think I'm a fan of trying this. I don't know if it'll work. Like, I really have no idea if it'll work against a good team. They play Detroit on Wednesday. It'll be a totally different matchup than Noah Penda and Orlando Robinson. And the Magic B team. But I want to see it because like we've seen enough of Garza to know it's not working. It's not working. Like I don't even blame him entirely, but it's like they just haven't figured out a way to play when their backup centers are on the court. So try another way to play. And if it works, cool. If it doesn't, then you're probably not going to be worse than -6 net rating anyway during those minutes. Like I don't think it could go much worse than it's already gone during those minutes.
Yeah, that
maybe I'm wrong.
Entirely. No, I mean we're gonna find out. But regardless, I think the big one is like Garza's been pretty much up until last night like 15 to 20 minutes a game, and I don't know if he's played well enough to like deserve those like every single night at this point when it's coming at the cost of younger, more promising guys. So that's the question of like, can they get away with it like against most teams? Like, well, can a Minot at center lineup be better than a -6 rating in a decent sample size? Like that's kind of like, again, it's not all Garza's fault. It's like he's on the floor for other defenders that are not great in Simons. Obviously guys who haven't played together as much. There are plenty of factors here at play, but regardless, it's Joe's responsibility and the staff's responsibility to like try to find stuff that works, especially when the starting numbers are that good and you're in or doing well for a huge portion of these games. So you can't, as you face better teams like now, you have to find stuff that works. And Minot, from a defensive versatility standpoint, he's been a better defensive rebounder than Garza this year. So it's like you're not really losing much in that department at least, and you're gaining a ton of defensive versatility, which
you're
should work well.
Finishing on the roll, like
that's true. Like just exactly like a lob threat, which Garza is not at all.
So
like it is kind of both sides.
I think it's worth trying. I will not say anything stronger than that because I truly don't know how it will go, but it's just worth trying. And I thought the second half showed some of the downside. Like Boucher was pretty ineffective during his second half stint. Like he grabbed 1 rebound over 14 minutes. Not great. Minot like had a fantastic first half. That second quarter, he was enormous. Hit everything. Was getting easy buckets. Was freeing up the offense. Played I think 9 of the 12 minutes in the second quarter at center and was a +16 during that quarter. But it's like he's also mistake prone and he's like a skinny 6'8" dude. And so you're gonna be susceptible in a lot of ways. The defense, like Orlando hit everything. Like Jet Howard was unconscious. Noah Penda was fantastic. But also that was one of the worst defensive performances the Celtics have had ever. And I think, going small probably factored into that. I also think once they got up big, they kind of let off the gas a little bit. And you probably can't do that when you're going small. You have to be like super energetic to make it work defensively with that group. But like, and then Jordan Walsh comes in. They still don't get any stops. But I liked him working as a screener and roller. I liked that. I thought he did a really good job of that, especially considering he's never really done that before, at least on a consistent basis. Like they're never bringing Jordan Walsh into the action so that he can operate as a roller. But Derek White was finding him. He was finding Jaylen Brown. I just thought the offense looked great, and Jaylen had tons of space to operate. He was able to get to the rim quite a bit. Like the offense looked fantastic. I know part of that was just like an unusual shooting performance, but I thought part of it too was just having better athletes and more capable guys on the roll when you're behind Queta. Like Queta's the only one of the actual centers who can roll and present a threat. And I thought both Jordan Walsh and Josh Minot did that when they were out there.
And it's funny we're talking about it like this, Jay. Of we don't know. We're recording this Monday night. We don't know Keita's status going forward. This might not be like, oh, maybe let's try. Like this might become just a necessity. Like period. Like if Keita's out, you have to play like this for.
You could play Tillman. You could play Garza. You could play kind of not conventionally, but like you could play bigs.
I get. But my point is, you're going to be going to this lamp. You can start like that, but I think you're going to get to this playing small regardless, because those guys especially against the teams they're facing right now, they are going to be potentially holding this team back in ways on both ends of the floor. And so that's, they do some things well, but in terms of the Celtics want to maximize themselves offensively with a lob threat, with spacing, and then obviously defensively with versatility. Like it's something where you're probably going to see that anyway, because I don't know, like you said, you want to see the young guys right now. I feel like you want to see more of the young wings, and just like the thing, like Jordan Walsh and those actions, that's the sort of stuff you would never look at unless he's put in these situations. So it's like you want to find out more about these guys in these spots, and this allows them a way to do that in a creative way, and maybe in a way that also ends up helping their team too.
Yeah, I'm on board. And like you said, if Keita misses time, they might almost have to do it. It might be you're forced to play small, see what happens. But also,
who do they start at center? Who do they start at center on Wednesday night if Keita can't go?
I bet they start Garza.
I mean, probably.
I bet they start Garza because that's just kind of how Joe operates.
Or Chris Boucher.
Yeah.
No, probably Tillman to someone.
It could be Tillman. They could definitely start Tillman, play him like at least the first 6 minutes of each half, and then you could go small. And look, if Keita plays, then you're not using small lineups for that long. And I think they're more feasible if you're using them for like 5 minutes at a time.
Yeah.
Versus an entire half. A team gets into a rhythm against you. A team learns how to attack you. But if it's 5 minutes at a time, I think it's more realistic and probably better off. This could be like the first injury test for the Celtics of the season. They've been remarkably healthy. Luka Garza is the only guy, other than Jason Tatum, Luka Garza is the only person to miss a game due to injury so far. He had a concussion and missed one game. None of the starters have missed a game. Outside of Garza, nobody in the rotation has missed a game. And that's been a pretty crucial factor to them playing as well as they have so far. So we'll see how it goes without Keita. It's funny, I like the podcast before, I said, what happens when Keita goes down? And sure enough, like 6 minutes into the next game, Keita goes down, sprains his ankle. Here we are. We don't know at this point whether he'll miss any significant time or any time at all. But if he does, it's a test, baby. It's a test. One more quick observation from that game and the last couple of games, really. Anthony Simons is starting to find his way. I think it's been, I don't want to say slow because it's 17 games in. This was going to be a process. Him not just coming to a new team with more talent, especially at the guard positions, but coming to a team where there were established guys and he had to figure out his place in the hierarchy. And he's starting to do it. They're starting to learn how to play with him. He's starting to learn how to play with them. It's looked better and better these last few games. And I think I think the Celtics should be very optimistic about the way he's played, the way he's competed, the way that he has just started to mesh with his teammates. I just think it's come a long way the last few games.
And how do you think, like, now that we're at this point now, I'm curious, like, how do they, and I think Jalen, talked about this bit in his post game after the Magic win, but like, do they try to just get him involved even more than they are to this point? Like, clearly he's runs the second unit for chunks when he's in, some of the time with the ball in his hands, but now, especially with the way he's shooting, Jays, I think he's up to like 41% from three. Like he's giving you more offensively consistently now most nights than even like Derek White as he goes through this slump. So it's like, I wonder how they'll try to unlock him in different ways on that front going forward as he finds his own cover level here.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to crack the top three because there's just a gulf. Like you talk about Derek White's offensive production, and Simons has absolutely shot the ball better. He's absolutely been a more efficient scorer, but there's such a gulf between Derek White's defense and Anthony Simons.
Oh yeah,
defense.
I mean that's like strictly talking offense here.
Yeah, but I do think like it seems the last few games they've been giving Anthony Simons more runway, allowing him to play a little bit more, probably playing a little smaller, and I think that's important. Like especially when he's playing well, he can be one of those guys who goes on a flurry, gets you 9 or 11 points in a couple minutes, and gives you some space. And he's just getting more comfortable. I think it's really important. So yeah, I don't see him like threatening the guy above him minutes, but like giving him some minutes from other guys. I think, yeah. Like
I'm more than just talking about like shots. Like the minutes are what they are for him. Like he's not going to get over 25 with this team. I feel like most nights, unless he has it going.
Yeah. See, for me, it's like shots come. Like if you're playing out there, he's going to get his shots. To me, it's like more they're learning how to involve him, and sometimes he gets the shots out of that, and sometimes other guys have benefited from that. And I think the last few games, especially, he's just like using his shooting not just to score, although he scored really well, but also to help other guys get open, and that's just as important to me. So yeah, I think if he plays well, the ball will just find him, as cliche and stupid as that sounds. But that's just how it goes with great shooters.
And to tie our topics together here, I think going smaller on defense with better defenders will help Simons. Like I think putting another wing around him, versatility there, could potentially, help him there, since obviously like Simons and Garza together defensively has not gone great. So if you're putting someone else, if you're putting Minot in Garza's place, like, and then you have Jordan Walsh and Derek White surrounding him there, then that lets him maybe thrive a little bit more, on that end. Not thrive, but just like be able to survive a little bit more on the defensive end, perhaps.
Yeah. One more note before we leave. It's going to be a quick one, but Derek White's shot blocking has been ridiculous. Ridiculous. This dude is averaging 1.4 blocks per game. Like what? His block rate is 3.9%. Like what? He's a guard. He's a point guard. Like this, it's stupid how he blocks shots. It is stupid. Like it's really just so stupid how well he's able to time people, how well he's able to line things up. Like I'm in awe of the way that Derek White blocks shots. It's absolutely ridiculous.
We're looking at career high in block rate, steal rate this season so far, and to go with a career low and a huge drop off in his turnover rate too. On the other end,
he's 18th in the league. 18th in the league in block rate.
In block rate shots. That's pretty crazy.
18th in the league. The other guys on this list Victor Wembanyama, Isaiah Stewart, Ryan Kalkbrenner, Alex Sarr, Nemi, Donovan Clingan, Scotty Barnes, Miles Turner, Chet Holmgren, Khalil Ware, Rudy Gobert, Musa Diabate, Derek Jones Jr., Evan Mobley, Nick Claxton, Jaren Jackson, Modest Bazelis, Derek White. I think the smallest guy on that list is 6'7" or 6'8".
Should Derek White be playing center?
Most of them are centers.
Your next
Derek,
question, I guess.
Derek White's he's just a center. He just blocks shots like
Problem
a center.
solved. It's
crazy. It's crazy. He had 3 against Orlando, and it's unfathomable to get the blocks that he does repeatedly. So shout out to him. Shout out to you guys too, the listeners, the kids, the gods, the legends. We love you all. We are here every Monday through Friday. We are going to figure out a path for this Thanksgiving. We're probably going to record Tuesday. So the Wednesday show and the Friday show will be pre-recorded. And then we'll have something quick, probably not a full podcast after the Detroit game on Wednesday night. That's the current plan. It's still up in the air though. But hope you guys all enjoy your Thanksgiving wherever you go, whoever you're with. Hope your families are great. Hope you have a blast enjoying it with the people you love, and have some nice turkey. We love you all. Take care.
Steel bottle, the bottle,